In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Advanced Lookup Transform, which is part of Task Factory from Pragmatic Works. In previous videos, we've showed you how to fill out the cache using the Lookup Cache Transform, and we've showed you how to set up the Advanced Lookup Cache Connection Manager. So if I want to show you that again real quick, you notice that in the previous video what we did is we set up all of our columns. We set these two columns here as output. We set up our input parameters and our input parameter conditions. If you haven't watched that video, go back and watch it and you can see how this is all set up. But just keep in mind that we have two input parameters and we have two output columns. So when we go into our lookup and we set that up, you have to do a couple of things to get that configured correctly. So we're going to open this up and we're going to see a blank, well, not that one because we set up the wrong one. Let's go ahead and drag over a lookup transform. There we go, got the right one, and let's go ahead and open that up and we see that we have a blank lookup transform. So what we need to do is we need to select a previously created connection manager, and we're going to do that right now. And once you do that, what happens is it reads the metadata of the input and the advanced cache connection manager. And so on the left hand side you have all the input columns that we have available to us, and on the right hand side we have the parameters that we set up in our cache connection manager. Now if you remember, what happens is every row that gets processed, the value of the input that we're attaching right here gets sent to this parameter and it's used in the query. So we're going to set these up. So every time that a row gets processed, full date alternate key gets passed in the order date, and product alternate key gets passed into product alternate key param. And then if a row is matched, what happens is we get these two values back out of the cache connection manager. And so that's all set up. If you need to add another row, it's simple. You can go into your cache connection manager and you're going to just say we're going to bring back end date as well, and you're going to see that this fails, and it's just going to tell you to refresh your columns. And so all you have to do is click refresh columns from cache, and now you're good to go. So two other things here is that you can tell this component what to do if a row match is not found, meaning that it sends in the data, there's no matches, we have no rows in our temporary cache. You can do a couple of things. You can redirect the row from the input to the non-matched output. You can output null values to the matched output, meaning what's going to happen is it's going to send all the input data that we have, because this is a pass-through transform, and output those values to the null value, or output those values as null values. Or you can simply fail the component, meaning that there should never be a lookup that fails, so you want to know right away if that happens. There's a couple other things that you can do here. First of all is you can actually replace values right here, meaning that instead of creating a new output, you can actually just replace a column of data. Now if you don't want to do that, that's fine, you can leave it alone. The other thing that you can do is you can actually alias your column. So if you don't want it to be end date, you want it to be end product date, whatever it is, you can put that right there, and that will be the name of the output column. So we're good to go. We're going to go ahead and save this, and we're going to, actually, you know what, I need to take off that end date real quick, and the reason is the flat file destination isn't set up to have that, and that will take a while for me to set up. So now we're going to get that, we're going to say yes, and so it's going to delete the end date, and we can see that's been refreshed. And so let's go ahead and attach this, and we're going to say that's fine, and we got to open this up and say that's good to go. Alright, and so now what we're going to do is we're going to run this, and we're going to see it run with about 60,000 rows, and it's a range lookup, and range lookups, as you know, are quite difficult and quite slow rather in the Microsoft lookup. Alright, so there it goes, it's running, it's doing its lookup, and there we go, and we got our file created, we did our lookup, and that's it.